All right. Get ready to dive deep into the world of cricket.
Dive deep.
But not just the basics. No way.
Oh, no.
We're going way beyond that today.
Deeper?
We've got historical accounts, we've got player perspectives, we've got fan stories.
Wow.
Even some business analysis.
Sounds like we've got it all.
We're going to try to figure out what makes the sport tick for, well, literally billions of fans.
Billions. Yeah, that's a lot.
It is.
It's fascinating, how cricket can be so deeply strategic.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, wildly unpredictable.
Right.
Actually, one of the sources we read, it compared cricket to, get this, chess and war, but with tea breaks.
I love that.
Yeah.
Chess and war with tea breaks.
So you got to have your tea.
You got to have it.
That's very British.
It is very British.
Yeah.
That brings up a good point, though, for our listener out there.
Okay.
Who maybe, hasn't spent countless hours watching cricket matches.
Right.
How would you even begin to explain the appeal of cricket?
So cricket, it's a sport of layers. On the surface, you've got these very basic elements.
Right.
You've got the bat, the ball, the wickets.
Ah.
You've got two teams. One is batting, one is bowling.
Okay.
The batting side, they're trying to score runs.
Right.
The bowlers, they're trying to get those batsmen out.
Okay, so just to make sure we're all on the same page here.
Sure.
How does the scoring actually work in cricket?
All right. So runs, you score them by hitting the ball and running between the wickets.
Okay.
Think of it kind of like bases in baseball.
Okay.
But there's way more nuance.
Okay.
The bowlers, they're aiming to hit the wickets with the ball
Right.
to get the batsman out, to dismiss him.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. That's just one way to get a batsman out.
Oh, okay.
There's also catching the ball before it bounces.
Oh.
There's something called leg before wicket.
Okay.
So it gets pretty complex.
So it's not just about like whacking the ball as hard as you can.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
actual strategy involved.
Absolutely, yeah. Every ball, you can think of it as like a mini battle of wits
Really?
between the batsman and the bowler.
Hmm.
They're trying to anticipate each other's moves.
Right.
They're trying to exploit weaknesses.
Yeah.
It's a mental game as much as a physical one.
Wow, it makes you kind of look at those highlight reels differently,
Yeah.
You think it's just people hitting a ball.
Right, yeah.
But there's so much more going on beneath the surface.
Absolutely.
Speaking of highlights,
Yes.
one of the sources really emphasized Ben Stokes' innings at Headingley back in 2019.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, was that more than just a highlight?
Oh, for sure.
I mean, was it one of those moments that really defines the sport?
Oh, absolutely. I think it was
Yeah.
one of those moments that defines the sport.
Yeah.
I mean, England, they needed 359 runs to win against Australia.
Wow.
The odds were they were astronomical against them.
Right.
And Ben Stokes, he pretty much single-handedly pulls off this incredible feat of batting. He was hitting boundaries, he was taking risks, but there was this calculated aggression to it.
Yeah.
It wasn't just luck, it was tactical brilliance
Yeah.
under immense pressure.
I mean, you can practically feel the tension.
Yeah.
Even just hearing you describe it.
Oh, for sure.
So that Headingley match,
Yeah.
I mean, it felt like a turning point,
Yes.
not just for the game itself, but for Stokes' career
Yeah.
and maybe even for English cricket as a whole, would you say?
Precisely. I mean, it demonstrated the sheer power of individual will, individual skill
Yeah.
to turn the tide of a match
Yeah.
and inspire a nation.
Wow.
It was pretty amazing.
So we've got this element of unpredictability.
Right.
We've got these moments of individual brilliance.
Right.
But then there's also all these different formats of cricket, right?
That's right.
I mean, how do those factor into everything we've been talking about?
Well, the format, it dictates the entire rhythm of the game.
Okay.
You've got test matches, which are like marathons. They're 5 days of cricket. They demand immense concentration, stamina from the players.
Gosh.
Then you've got one-day internationals, ODIs,
Okay.
a bit shorter, about 8 hours.
Right.
It's more of a balancing act. Teams need to pace themselves strategically.
Yeah.
And then there's 2020, T20,
Yeah.
the shortest format.
That's the one I've actually managed to watch all the way through.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's the instant gratification version of cricket, for sure.
Okay.
Big hits, quick runs.
Yeah.
Lots of excitement
Yeah.
packed into just a few hours.
Right.
T20 is almost like,
Yeah.
a gateway drug to the other formats.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So if someone was totally new to cricket,
Yeah.
you'd recommend they start with a T20 match.
Without a doubt, it's fast-paced,
Yeah.
easy to follow,
Yeah.
full of explosive action.
Okay.
But then
Yeah.
once you've gotten a taste of that excitement,
Right.
you might find yourself drawn to those more nuanced strategic battles of Test cricket or ODIs.
Okay, so even within the sport itself,
Yeah.
there are these completely different experiences depending on which format you choose.
Exactly.
And I imagine that impacts the players, too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the skills.
Yeah.
The mindset required for each format, they're quite distinct.
Yeah.
Take batting, for example.
Okay.
In T20, a batsman, he needs to be innovative. He needs to be aggressive.
Okay.
Always looking for boundaries.
All right.
They need to improvise.
Yeah.
Adapt to that fast-paced nature of the game.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
One of the sources, actually, it mentioned the ramp shot.
Yes.
And the reverse scoop
Yeah.
as examples of this innovative style of batting.
Right.
What are those exactly?
So they're almost like trick shots, you know?
Okay.
The ramp shot, it uses the pace of the ball to scoop it over the wicketkeeper's head.
Okay.
And the reverse scoop, that's even more unorthodox.
Really?
The batsman, he essentially pretends to bat left-handed.
Oh, wow.
So he's kind of defying the bowler's expectation. Sends the ball in an unexpected direction.
Wow.
It's pretty thrilling to watch.
I bet.
Yeah.
So T20, it's all about kind of pushing the boundaries, no pun intended,
Right.
of what's possible with a bat.
Yeah.
But test match batting, I imagine that's a whole different ballgame.
It is. It requires a different kind of mastery.
Okay.
Test batting is about patience, concentration,
Right.
building an innings carefully.
Okay.
A good test batsman, he needs to be able to defend stubbornly,
Okay.
pick his moments to attack,
Yeah.
and adapt to changing pitch conditions.
Right.
It's a mental and physical endurance test.
Wow. I bet facing a bowler
Yeah,
in each of these formats feels wildly different.
it does, yeah.
You know, I know in baseball there's this whole mental game between the pitcher and the batter.
Right.
Is it like that in cricket too?
Definitely. Every delivery, you can think of it as a psychological duel. And just like batting styles change across formats,
Yeah.
so do bowling techniques.
Okay.
In T20s, bowlers, they need to mix things up.
Right.
Yorkers, slower balls, cutters,
Yeah.
anything to deceive that batsman.
You're going to have to break those down for me.
Okay.
What's a Yorker, for instance?
So a Yorker, imagine a ball that's perfectly aimed to land right at the batsman's feet.
Okay.
Makes it extremely difficult to hit.
Right.
Classic weapon, especially in those final overs of a T20 match when the pressure's on.
Gotcha. So it sounds like bowlers.
Yeah.
They've got a whole arsenal of tricks up their sleeves.
They do? They do.
And just like with batting, I imagine there's a world of difference between bowling in a T20 versus a test match.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. In Test cricket, bowlers need to maintain consistency.
Yeah.
Over long spells, they're building pressure on the batsman.
Okay.
They're waiting for him to make a mistake.
So it's almost like a chess match, you know?
That's a good analogy, yeah.
Thinking several moves ahead.
Yeah, setting traps, probing for weaknesses, outmaneuvering your opponent.
It's really interesting. All this to say, it's clear why cricket has such devoted fans around the world.
For sure.
It's not just about hitting a ball.
Right.
This is a strategic battle.
Yeah.
It's a showcase of incredible skill, athleticism,
Yeah.
and it's just a constant test of mental strength, it sounds like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it
Really
is.
fascinating.
Yeah, okay.
So we've talked about the strategy,
Right.
the skills,
Yeah.
even the mental toughness of these players.
Absolutely.
But what about the fans?
Right?
What's it like to be on the other side of the boundary,
Yeah.
watching all this unfold?
Well, cricket fandom, it's a whole other level
Uh,
of dedication, frankly, emotional investment.
Really?
All these sources we've read,
Hmm.
they paint this picture of a truly unique sporting experience.
One source even said it's like riding an emotional roller coaster.
Oh, yeah.
And I imagine, considering how different all the formats of cricket are,
Right.
I mean, that roller coaster probably takes on a whole new shape, depending on which one you're watching. Exactly. Each format offers a different flavor of fandom.
Okay.
Let's start with T20, the shortest, the fastest.
All right, so what kind of emotional ride are we talking about here?
Imagine, pure, unadulterated excitement.
Well, okay.
Condensed into just a few hours.
Right.
T20, it's about explosive action, massive hits,
Yeah.
nail-biting finishes.
Yeah.
It's sensory overload in the best possible way.
I remember reading about the 2016 T20 World Cup final,
Oh, yeah.
where West Indies needed 19 runs off the last over against England.
Wow.
Carlos Brathwaite stepped up and hit 4 consecutive sixes to win the match.
I remember that.
I mean, I wasn't even watching live, and just reading about it
Right.
gave me chills.
That's the magic of T20.
Yeah.
It creates these moments that are they're etched in your memory forever.
Right.
The highs are euphoric, and even the lows, they have this dramatic intensity.
Okay, so T20 is the sprint, the quick burst of adrenaline.
Exactly.
What about ODIs? How would you describe the fan experience there?
So ODIs, it's more like a strategically paced marathon.
Okay.
You still have those moments of brilliance, the excitement,
Right.
but they're woven into a longer, more intricate narrative.
So the emotional roller coaster is a bit more, I don't know, drawn out.
Exactly. You might start the match feeling optimistic.
Okay.
Then doubt creeps in,
As wickets fall.
as wickets fall or the required run rate climbs.
Right.
It's a constant balancing act between hope and anxiety.
And by the final overs,
Yeah.
you're just a nervous wreck.
Oh, yeah, you're hanging on every ball.
I can only imagine what it was like to watch the 2019 World Cup final.
Oh, tell me about it.
England and New Zealand tied the match.
Right.
Then they tied the super over.
I know.
And England eventually won based on boundary count.
It was
A
crazy.
controversial ending, to say the least.
That match was the epitome of ODI drama.
Yeah.
It had incredible individual performances,
Right.
strategic twists,
Yeah.
moments of sheer luck.
And in the end, I mean, it left fans with this mix of
I know.
elation, disappointment, even a bit of bewilderment.
Absolutely.
Talk about an emotional roller coaster, gosh.
It was something else.
So we've got the T20 sprint. We've got the ODI marathon.
Yeah.
What about Test cricket?
Okay, so Test cricket.
What does fandom look like in that format?
Test cricket fandom, it's a different breed.
Okay.
It's about savoring those nuances.
Yeah.
The ebb and flow of momentum over 5 days.
Wow.
It's about appreciating, the subtleties of each player's technique,
Okay.
the tactical decisions made by the captains,
Yeah.
the way the pitch conditions can change the entire course of a match.
It's a lot to take in.
It is.
One of the sources compared it to reading a good novel.
Yeah.
You need patience,
You do.
but the payoff is worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
That's a great analogy, yeah.
Test matches, they're full of these intricate storylines
Right.
that unfold over time.
Yeah.
You get invested in the characters.
Yeah.
You feel the tension build.
Uh-huh.
And the climax, when it finally arrives,
Yeah.
it's all the more satisfying.
Any examples of classic test matches that really capture that slow burn drama?
Well, the 2005 Ashes series,
Okay.
particularly the Edgbaston Test,
Yeah.
often cited as one of the greatest test matches ever played.
Really?
England won by just 2 runs after 5 days
Wow.
of incredible twists and turns.
Gosh, I mean, imagine the emotional exhaustion,
I know.
but also the exhilaration
Wow.
of being a fan in that stadium.
Oh, something else.
It sounds exhausting, but also incredibly rewarding.
It is.
Yeah, you're not just a spectator.
Right.
You're a witness to history.
Exactly. And that shared experience,
Yeah.
that collective anticipation,
Yeah.
the emotional release.
Right.
It's a huge part of what makes cricket fandom so special.
All the sources really mention how cricket has this power to bring people together.
It does. It's true.
It does.
Cricket fandom, it transcends boundaries. It unites people
Yeah.
across cultures, social classes, even generations.
Yeah.
It creates this sense of community,
Yeah.
shared identity that's really quite powerful.
We talked about India earlier, where cricket is practically a religion.
Oh, yeah.
Streets empty out during big matches.
Right.
Everyone glued to their TVs, united in this collective hope for victory.
It's true. It's a national obsession.
Yeah.
And when India wins,
Yeah.
the celebrations, they're unlike anything you've ever seen.
Really?
It's pure outpouring of joy, a shared experience of triumph
Wow.
that unites the entire nation.
I read about the 2011 World Cup final.
Yes.
When MS Dhoni hit that winning 6 to secure India's victory,
Oh, yeah.
it was pandemonium in the streets.
I bet.
People dancing, singing, setting off fireworks.
Wow.
I mean, it sounds like it was more than just a sporting event.
It was.
It was a cultural moment.
Absolutely. It transcended sport.
Yeah.
It became the symbol of national pride and unity.
Right.
And that's the beauty of cricket. It has this ability to tap into something deeper,
Yeah.
to connect with people on an emotional and cultural level.
And that shared experience isn't limited to India.
No, not at all.
The sources also talked about the Ashes rivalry between England and Australia.
Oh, yeah.
The Ashes.
The Ashes is a perfect example of how cricket fandom
Yeah.
can create these intense,
Yeah.
but ultimately respectful rivalries.
Okay.
It's a clash of cultures, a battle for bragging rights
Yeah.
that's been going on for over a century.
And the rivalry extends beyond the cricket pitch, right?
Oh, for sure.
There's all this banter, this good-natured teasing between the fans.
Absolutely. It's all part of the fun.
Yeah.
The Aussies, they might rib the English about their weather, or their tea drinking habits.
Right.
While the English, they might poke fun at the Aussies' accents or their love of Vegemite.
Yeah.
But underneath it all, there's this mutual respect.
Oh, yeah.
And this shared passion for the game.
Absolutely. The Ashes is a reminder that rivalry, when it's healthy,
can actually strengthen the bonds between fans.
I like that.
Yeah.
And speaking of fandom evolving,
All right.
we can't ignore the rise of women's cricket.
Oh, absolutely not.
It's been incredible to witness the growth in popularity and support.
It's a truly inspiring development in the sport.
It really is.
Women's cricket has shattered glass ceilings,
Right.
challenged gender stereotypes, created opportunities for female athletes to shine on a global stage.
The sources highlighted some of the trailblazers in women's cricket.
Yeah.
Players like Mithali Raj, Elise Perry, Meg Lanning.
Legends.
They're not just incredible athletes.
No, they're not.
They're role models for millions around the world.
For sure.
They've shown that women can compete at the highest level of the sport.
Absolutely.
And their achievements have inspired a whole new generation of young girls to pick up a bat and ball.
Right.
I remember reading about the 2017 Women's World Cup final at Lord's.
Oh, yes.
Which attracted a massive crowd and broke viewership records.
It was a turning point for women's cricket.
Yeah.
It showed the world that women's cricket could be just as exciting, skillful, captivating as the men's game.
Right.
And it sent a really powerful message about gender equality in sport.
And it's not just about breaking records.
No.
It's about changing perceptions and creating a more inclusive and equitable future for the sport.
Exactly. Women's cricket is challenging societal norms.
Yeah.
Paving the way for greater representation of women in all aspects of the game.
It's fantastic to see how women's cricket is flourishing.
It is.
It's a testament to the dedication of the players,
Yeah.
the passion of the fans,
Yeah.
the power of sport to drive social change.
Absolutely.
And while we're on the topic of the evolving landscape of cricket,
Yes.
it's interesting to note that even Test cricket,
Right.
the longest and arguably most traditional format,
Right.
is experiencing a resurgence in popularity.
It is. It's amazing.
It seems like those epic 5-day battles, they still hold a special place in the hearts of many fans.
They do.
I have to admit, even I've been drawn in by the strategic depth
Yeah.
and just the sheer endurance required.
It's a different kind of thrill.
Yeah.
A slow-burning tension that builds over days.
The sources talked about how rivalries like India versus Australia and England versus New Zealand have injected new life into Test cricket.
They have. Those series are always highly anticipated, fiercely contested.
Right.
They often produce some of the most dramatic and memorable moments in the sport.
They mentioned the GABA test of 2021 as a prime example.
Yes.
An injury-depleted Indian team
I know. I remember that.
overcame all odds to defeat Australia at their fortress.
He was incredible.
The GABA, a ground where Australia hadn't lost a test match in over 30 years.
Unbelievable.
I mean, that match was just an incredible display of resilience,
Yeah,
determination, teamwork.
it really was.
It captured the imagination of fans all over the world.
Absolutely.
And it showed that even in this modern era of T20 cricket,
Right.
test matches still have the power to captivate and inspire.
Oh, for sure.
And, of course, test cricket has its own unique quirks and charms.
It does.
It's the only format where you can take a tea break.
Right.
You know, discuss the finer points of the game with your fellow spectators.
Yeah.
And still not miss much of the action.
Right.
And the rain delays, well,
Yes.
those are just part of the experience.
They are.
Test cricket fans are definitely a patient bunch.
They are. And their dedication, it's a testament to the enduring appeal of this format.
Yeah.
A format that, despite the rise of shorter, faster versions of the game,
Right.
continues to hold a special place in the hearts of cricket lovers worldwide.
And to wrap up this exploration of cricket fandom,
Okay.
it's important to acknowledge that the sport is no longer confined to its traditional strongholds.
Right.
It's becoming increasingly global.
It is. It's true.
Cricket is gaining popularity in new markets,
Yeah.
attracting new audiences,
Mm-hmm.
establishing itself as a truly international sport.
It's amazing to see.
They mentioned the growing popularity of cricket in the USA,
Yes.
with leagues like Major League Cricket gaining traction and upcoming events like the 2024 T20 World Cup set to be hosted there.
It's an exciting time for cricket in the USA.
Yeah.
It's tapping into a whole new fan base.
Right.
It's bringing a fresh perspective
Oh.
to the global cricketing landscape.
And then there's the rise of teams like Afghanistan,
Oh, yeah.
who have overcome incredible challenges.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
to become a force in international cricket.
It's inspirational.
It is. Afghanistan's journey is a testament to the power of sport to unite and inspire.
For sure.
Their success has given hope to people in a country that has faced immense hardship.
That's true.
And it's showcased the global appeal of cricket.
Absolutely.
So from nail-biting T20 finishes to the strategic battles of test matches, from the electric atmosphere of a packed stadium in India,
I could picture it,
to the growing fan base in the USA. It's clear that cricket fandom is a diverse and ever-evolving phenomenon.
It really is.
It is.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is.
How this one sport has managed to weave itself into the cultural fabric of so many different societies.
It's more than just cheering for a team, right?
Right, yeah.
It's like cricket taps into something deeper, something that resonates with people on a personal and societal level.
Absolutely. It becomes a source of shared identity.
Yeah.
A way for people to connect with their history, their culture, their community.
We talked about India earlier.
Right.
Where cricket is practically a religion.
Yes.
But one of the sources went even deeper, talking about how cricket has played a role in shaping India's national identity.
Okay.
Especially post-independence.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cricket, it became this symbol of unity and resilience for a newly independent nation. It was a way for Indians to prove themselves on a global stage.
Right.
To assert their identity, their place in the world.
They specifically mentioned the 1983 World Cup victory.
Oh, yeah.
Where India, considered the underdogs, they defeated the mighty West Indies.
Powerful.
It wasn't just a sporting victory.
No.
It was a moment of national pride.
Right.
A turning point in India's cricketing journey.
I mean, that victory, it ignited a passion for cricket in India.
Yeah.
That continues to this day.
Still burns brightly.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It showed the world that India was a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
And it inspired generations of young cricketers.
Right.
To dream big.
To dream big, absolutely.
It's fascinating how a single sporting event can have such a profound impact on a nation's psyche.
Yeah. It really is.
And it's not just about national identity either.
Right.
Cricket has also played a role in challenging social norms.
Yes.
And promoting gender equality.
It has.
One of the sources talked about the rise of women's cricket as a force for social change.
Absolutely.
It's not just about breaking records. It's about breaking down barriers.
For sure. Women's cricket, it's challenged traditional gender roles, created opportunities for female athletes.
Right.
To showcase their talent on a global stage.
And it's empowered women, inspired young girls to dream big.
Yes.
Both on and off the field.
Absolutely.
They highlighted the achievements of players like Mithali Raj.
Oh, yeah.
Who has been breaking records and defying stereotypes for over 2 decades.
She's an icon.
She is.
Not just for her cricketing prowess.
Right.
But for her resilience. Her determination.
She's paved the way for a new generation of female cricketers.
Absolutely.
Proving that women can excel at the highest level of the sport.
For sure.
And her success has had a ripple effect.
It has.
Inspiring women in all walks of life to break down barriers and pursue their passion.
So powerful.
It is. We've talked a lot about India.
We have.
But cricket's cultural impact, it extends far beyond its borders.
Oh, it does.
It's a truly global sport, with each region bringing its own unique flavor to the game.
Absolutely. Think about the Caribbean, for instance.
Okay.
Cricket's deeply ingrained in the culture there.
Right.
Vibrant, passionate fan base, matches. They're more than just sporting events.
Oh, really?
They're celebrations of life, filled with music, dancing, contagious energy.
Sounds like a party.
It is a party.
Yeah.
And it's a testament to the way cricket has been adapted and embraced by different cultures around the world.
Okay, but what about the business side of cricket?
All right, so the business side.
All these sources talk about massive global viewership.
Yes.
Lucrative sponsorships, huge investments in leagues like the IPL.
It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, no doubt.
And the IPL in particular, it's revolutionized the sport's financial landscape.
It has.
Its unique franchise model, its blend of cricket and entertainment.
Right.
It's attracted massive investments, global audiences.
Sure.
But there's been some debate, right?
There has.
Some sources argue that the IPL's focus on entertainment
might
be overshadowing the more traditional formats of the game.
Yeah, there's definitely a tension there.
Okay.
Some purists, they worry that the fast-paced, high-scoring nature of T20 cricket, particularly in the IPL, might be diminishing the appeal of Test cricket and ODIs. But then others argue that the IPL has actually brought new fans to the sport.
Okay.
Many of whom have then gone on to appreciate the nuances of the longer formats.
So it's not necessarily a zero-sum game,
right?
The popularity of T20 cricket?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to come at the expense of the other formats.
Exactly. The different formats, they can coexist,
okay,
complement each other.
Yeah.
And ultimately, the growth of the sport as a whole, it benefits everyone involved.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
And that growth is evident in the way technology is being used to enhance the game, both for players and fans.
It's been incredible.
We've got Hawkeye,
yes,
which uses ball tracking technology to help with umpiring decisions. We've got Ultra Edge, which detects the faintest of edges off the bat.
Amazing.
And Spider Cam, which provides these incredible aerial views of the action.
It's like having a microscope on the game.
Yeah.
Revealing all those hidden complexities.
And it's made cricket even more engaging for fans.
Absolutely.
Both in the stadium and watching at home.
For sure.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of cricket,
right,
I think we've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
We've explored the different formats of the game,
Yeah.
delved into the minds of the players,
Mm-hmm.
experienced the roller coaster of emotions that comes with being a cricket fan,
Right.
and witnessed how the sport has woven itself
It has.
into the cultural fabric of societies worldwide.
It's really quite remarkable.
It is.
And we've seen how cricket can unite nations,
Yeah.
challenge social norms,
Right.
inspire generations.
It's been a fascinating journey.
It has.
And I have to admit, I've gained a whole new appreciation for this sport.
Me too. And if you're listening and you've never given cricket a chance,
Yeah.
I encourage you to do so.
You might be surprised
You might be.
at how quickly you get drawn in
Yeah,
by the drama, the passion, the sheer beauty of the game.
absolutely.
And if you're already a cricket fan,
Yeah.
well, then you know exactly what we're talking about.
You do. The thrill of a close finish.
Yeah.
The heartbreak of a lost match.
Yeah.
The camaraderie of the crowd.
Yeah.
The shared moments of joy and despair.
It's all part of what makes cricket such a captivating and enduring sport.
It really is.
More than just a game.
It is.
It's a cultural phenomenon,
Yes.
a global community, a story that continues to unfold with each passing match.
Absolutely.
So whether you're a seasoned fan
Yeah.
or a curious newcomer,
Keep exploring the world of cricket.
you just might discover a passion you never knew you had.
Exactly.
And on that note,
All right.
we'll leave you with a final thought.
Okay, shoot.
If you had to choose just one format of cricket to watch for the first time,
Yeah.
which one would it be?
That's a tough one.
Let us know your thoughts on social media.
Yeah. Let us know.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
Keep diving.